Okay. Good morning. Sorry we are quite behind schedule. I think there was a lot of traffic, very tight congestions. On Monday we started with essay writing, and we were able to get to the level of understanding how to apply the formula. So what we need to do today is to get a question and use it to apply the formula, and we will be able to understand how best to apply or treat an essay question using the formula. So let's see what the formula is. Okay, so we were able to, please increase the handheld mic and break down the head mic. So we were able to actually explain what this formula entails, and we had verbal, detailed explanation about how to apply the formula when taking on your essay task. Then we stopped at a paraphrase on Monday. We started with a particular question, and I said when we come today, we shall complete the paraphrase, because paraphrase is more like the foundation of IELTS. So you need to actually have in-depth understanding of paraphrase. So it would help you when you get to listening test, reading test, as well as your speaking test. Alright, I also sent some questions to us to paraphrase. 5-in-1 question. I don't know if you got that. Okay, so I will see what you were able to do as regards paraphrasing on those questions. Please, so you're able to do that.
That's why I'm smiling. I wasn't
Chief, you did yours, right?
I didn't open my phone. I did finish.
Okay. Alright, so but we'll just take a look at the ones you did. Let's see, because that's the only way we can actually know the progress we're making so far. Alright, let's see the questions you attempted.
The question goes like this. Now, a lot of charities and organizations have publicized their activities by setting up a number of days to name a special day, like National Non-Smoking Day. Why do they do so? What are the effects? So
Your paraphrase.
Yeah.
Gina, please get the order. Sorry, just a moment.
So the paraphrase are so many charities and institutions have brought to limelight their activities by putting up several days to name a crucial day, such as National Children's Day and National Non-Smoking Day.
Please, can you say that again?
So many charities and institutions have brought to limelight their activities by putting up several days to name a crucial day, such as National Children's Day and National Non-Smoking Day.
Nice. I'll give 3 or 5 to that. Let's do the second one.
Rich countries often give financial aid to poor countries, but it does not solve the poverty. So rich countries should give other types of aid to the poor countries rather than financial aid. To what extent do you agree? So I paraphrase to developed nations of the world in many cases has offered monetary assistance to less privileged countries. However, this assistance never seems to ameliorate the poverty. Therefore, developed nations should offer other types of assistance to these underdeveloped countries instead of monetary assistance.
Nice. This is 4.5. You added something, the first line of your paraphrase.
Okay.
That first expression that you added something. Really, let me spot it.
The paraphrase.
Yes.
Developed nations of the world.
Thank you. Developed nations of the world. The Christian says rich countries, and not rich countries of the world. Do you understand? Every other thing there is out. Very correct. So let's go to the third one.
Some people think music plays an important role in the society. Others think it is simply a form of entertainment. Discuss both sides of the argument and give your opinion. In the society, some individuals believe that music has a significant role it plays. However, to some folks, music is just a common form of entertainment.
A common
Form of entertainment.
Okay, thank you. Folks is more like an informal expression. So please, in essay, take away anything that is informal. Essays are formal writings. So nice attempt. Nice. I think if you give paraphrasing more time, you see, it's not actually a challenge. Just if you feel it's a challenge, it's because you've not given it some time. Give it a little time, you'll find out that you are doing wonderfully. Alright, so thank you. Those are great attempts right there. Maybe or later in the week you'll find someone attempt
I will do
those paraphrases. Alright, so those are ways to go when you are paraphrasing, because it is the first thing you must do on the day of your essay, to copy the question first. So when you are copying the question, you now change some of the keywords using their synonyms or phrases that still retain the original idea. Now, the concept of paraphrasing, to me, is a way of imagining that the examiner marking your script does not have the question. So whatever you're able to paraphrase is what the examiner would read and evaluate whatever you write. So that's why it is important to paraphrase correctly. Because when you go wrong from the paraphrase, then the examiner's judgment will also be in tune with whatever you have done. So that would really affect everything. Then let's get a simple question and paraphrase it and develop it to have a complete essay. So we know how the essay can be formed. Gina, can I get a question? Essay question paper. Right. Now, another thing you need to be working on when it comes to paraphrase, when it comes to essay writing, is your ability to think out points within that short period of time that you have. Because, like I always say, you never can tell where your question will come from. So all you need to do is be open-minded. Do not anticipate that question will come from agriculture or transport or sports, because you are very versatile in those areas. What if the question does not come from any of these sides? What happens? it means one will just be so shattered and disorganized. So just be open-minded. Think of how best to get to solve certain questions. Okay. So here is a practical IELTS question. It says, in many countries today, crime novels and TV crime dramas are becoming more and more popular. Why do you think these books and TV shows are popular? What is your opinion of crime fiction and TV crime dramas? We are going to develop this particular question. Okay, so let's begin. Let's assume this to be our question on the day of our exam. What should be the first thing we are expected to do? The first thing would be to read the question once and identify the keywords in a question that you can paraphrase. So I would simply say many countries today.
So that crime novels, can it be changed to maybe something like books that talks about crime or
Yeah, that will be more of explaining a little, just the word. So for me, I'll just let it be. Okay, so here we have the question and the things we can paraphrase. Many, we can paraphrase to what? Right? Lots of nations. Right?
There is nowadays.
Here, more and more, increasingly popular, widely enjoyed. Right? So this is it. This is a paraphrase. All you need to do now is transfer to your answer sheet. So there are two things I'm considering. It's either you take this over there.
Yes.
You can use this to start the sentence. Nowadays, in lots of nations, or in recent times, a lot of nations, or in several or so many So it depends on how you want to construct your English. Okay. In several nations nowadays, crime novels and television crime dramas are becoming increasingly widely accepted. Okay. Now, that's for the paraphrase. Let's look at the instruction. It says, why do you think these books and TV shows are popular? What is your opinion of crime fiction and TV crime dramas? So for us, at this point, we don't want to begin to act immediately. We have to read the original question to now understand what the situation is. It says, in many countries today, crime novels and TV crime dramas are becoming more and more popular. In many countries today, crime novels and TV crime dramas are becoming more and more popular. So I think it's simply saying that crime novels, that is, written expositions about crimes that are well detailed, as well as dramas being televised as regards to crime, are also becoming more and more popular. So the question is, why do you think these books and TV shows are popular? Why are they popular? Then, what is your opinion of crime fiction and TV dramas? So that opinion would come later. Let's understand why these books and TV shows are popular. In your opinion, what do you think? What do you think are the reasons these TV shows and books are popular? So let's begin to share ideas. What do you think might be the reason crime books and TV shows are popular? Do you have any idea? Alright, no idea. Now let's explain. Let me explain. First and foremost, what are these crime books? The likes of Batman comics or Batman novels, the likes of pardon?
Frederick Forsyth.
Frederick, yeah.
Those days.
Yes.
Those days.
Yes. The likes of what's this? The Vikings novels, right? You see a lot of, when you read their novels, you see a lot of war, crime, stealings, robbery, rapes, and all the likes. You know, so why are they becoming popular? You also get to read novels that teach you about how to rob a bank, right? You get to read novels about how to go into another man's land. These are crime novels. So why are they popular? These books and TV shows are popular because, one, they teach people about criminalities on the negative side. So I want to establish the fact that they are popular based on two things. One, popularity based on the negative impact they make, and popularity is based on the positive impact. On the negative impact, the novels and dramas tend to expose how to commit these crimes, how these crimes are committed, how to achieve such crimes and go scot-free, how to actually plan properly to execute a plan. So a lot of people are beginning to understand how these things play out. Then on the other hand, the positive side to it is that it helps people to understand their antics. It helps people to detect when a crime is about to happen, because you are now being exposed to how they throw their tantrums or how they actually throw their baits, how they function. So, like in Africa, in Nigeria, for instance, you'll always hear about one chance, right? Now, if there are TV dramas that expose how the one chance people operate, what they look like, what they discuss in their vehicle, when you get into a vehicle and begin to hear similar pattern of discourse, you will know. It will occur to you that that is the way. In your mind, you just give them one story, they will stop you, you run away. Right? You also know when you get to an environment and you observe or notice some movements, some unclear movements, if you had been watching such dramas or you've read a couple of novels about crimes, you would on your own detect, or you can decipher that this person is a potential danger to this environment. So you either raise an alarm or you leave that environment. So those are reasons these things are becoming popular, because of the education and exposures they are giving to the general public or their viewers. Please, do you understand this? Now, what is your opinion of crime fictions on TV, crime dramas? It's now seeking your opinion. So for me, I would say that in my experiential opinion, or in my professional opinion, or in my candid opinion, in as much as crime fictions are make-believe kind of write-ups, it is also important to regulate or checkmate what children read, so they don't try to mimic such things they are reading which are not real, and it may tend to affect them in real life. Some years back, we heard of a child who jumped from 2-story buildings down and crashed because he was watching a lot of Batman and Spider-Man. So he felt they are real. So he wanted to act like a Batman. He tied little wrapper around his neck and jumped down from 2nd-story building and crashed. So, but if the parents were actually talking to the child to make the child understand that these things are fictions, they are not real, such a child will understand that if I try it as a human, I may not survive it. Right? Then, crime dramas on the telly, on televisions, I feel that they should be censored before they are being aired. Censored in the sense that it should not teach people about how to commit the crime. Rather, people should learn to understand how to avoid being a victim of such situations or criminalities. So that's my own opinion. This is how the IELTS questions will come. So imagine you are not exposed to certain things such as this, and you feel you have a lot of English in your vocabulary. You would write the English that will not align with the question. Please, do you understand this? Okay. So what do we do at this point? We want to plan an essay. So to plan the essay, the question is, why do you think these books and TV shows are popular? Perhaps it's not requested for just a reason. I hope we're aware. So my point would be, on a positive note.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, sir.
In this kind of question, if one should see this kind of question, it simply means after your paraphrase, it will be fine for you to state, okay, the question says, why do you think these books and TV shows are popular? So it is a question of question. So after the paraphrase, it will be fine for you to tell why these TV shows are popular, right?
Yes. You are meant to. You are to discuss reasons they are popular. Your discussion as regards the reasons they are popular should be expressed here, paragraphs 2 and 3. Those are areas you're giving reasons. Now, this opinion right here would appear in paragraph 1 and also appear in paragraph 4. Do you understand? But this is the major issue you have to discuss in your paragraphs 2 and 3. Reasons the TV shows and crime dramas or fictions are popular. So for me, I would discuss the crime books in paragraph 2 and discuss the TV shows in paragraph 3. Then give my opinion in paragraph 4 as well as paragraph 1. Please, do you understand? Alright, so on a positive note, the crime books okay. So for the point, I'm saying that on a positive note, crime books expose readers to how criminalities are carried out, as well as how to prevent being a victim of such crimes, right? Now, example, let's look at, because we are looking at books right now. So if we are looking at books, we want to consider situations or scenarios where certain criminalities have been exposed. Let's look at people who travel to other countries. Maybe the crime book is exposing how drugs are being planted into people's luggages without their consent, because this things happen at the airport. You won't know. You packed your luggages at home, safe, innocently, and someone, a criminal who wants to maybe peddle drug into another country, would just smuggle the particular drug into your bag. So you might want to look at that as an example. Okay, planting drugs into a traveler's luggage at the airport. So how do they do this? You might want to explain, maybe citing a little scenario of someone who sat beside you at the lobby waiting for the announcer to inform you about your flight being ready for boarding, right? And then unknowing to you, the person is a drug peddler, and you felt the person was free and safe, and you left the person with your bag to quickly rush the rest convenience to make use of the convenience. Then upon returning back, while you are trying to check into the plane, you realize that, or you are just called to a room to explain how the drug got into the bag. At this point, you won't be able to defend such situation. So how does this help? You might really want to check your bag again when you return from the convenience before you board. That's what this exposition would help you. That when you return from the convenience, check your bag again to be sure that it is still the way you packed it or packaged it from home. Then another reason this is popular, let's look at the TV show now. Now TVs practically demonstrate the activities, right? So you get to understand how they also exhibit their tricks, how they plan and execute certain plans, and that will be on the negative side. So children or viewers who watch such crimes might get addicted to it or might begin to think about doing it, and first attempt of getting into such might land one into huge trouble. So that's another point you want to write down. Then once you're done, what is your opinion? Your opinion is, in as much as it exposes children or viewers to how these things are done, it is also important to reduce or censor or checkmate what viewers watch as regards crime or criminalities, so that they don't begin to build interest towards such and might want to eventually practicalize it. So after writing this opinion, you come back to your paragraph 1 where you have paraphrased. Now on my answer sheet, this is where my full stop, the paraphrase, is. So there is no space over there anymore. So I want to continue my thesis background statement. So I will simply say, okay, so here is my opinion as well as my complete paragraph 1. I will read the question, the paraphrased version. It says, in several nations nowadays, crime novels and television crime dramas are becoming increasingly widely accepted. In this essay, I will be writing to clearly highlight the reasons crime fictions and TV crime dramas are gaining popularity. Although, in my professional opinion, parents must ensure that viewers, most especially children, are placed on check by activating parental control to prevent addiction to such series, which are capable of influencing their lives, both negatively and positively. So that's my paragraph 1. You can do a lot better than this actually. You can have more or better ideas. So with this, all you need to do is go to the second paragraph. Pick up this point. Write it as your topic sentence and begin to expatiate on it. When you write that, from here, from this point to this point is self-explanatory. So you just need to give a little bit of detailed explanations. And the detailed explanations right here should not be based on spellings alone. Please, you need to quote year, location, the percentage of children who have been influenced by watching or reading such category of books. Alright? So you talk about a person who conducted the research about such and what the person came up with as regards the findings.
What if you don't have any particular indices?
No, you are the one disturbing yourself. IELTS is not concerned about how true what you're writing is.
That's really what I wanted to
IELTS is not concerned about how true whatever you're writing is. But ensure that your paragraphs are fact-like. You know what it means? Fact-like. As in make them appear like something real. So you quote a name, whether the name exists or not.
They don't have time to go and start checking.
Do you know how many people that write IELTS every day?
That is what I want to
They will go bankrupt. Don't worry yourself about that. Don't worry yourself about that. Just ensure that you don't just do spellings alone. Quote year. When you quote in 1842, let them go to that 1842 and look for what happened. You give a name, Professor Tukasha, let them go and look for which Professor Tukasha. Alright? So you establish what he did, how he carried out the research, the age bracket of children he conducted such research on, and then the percentage he found out that were influenced by such crime books. So you just please ensure that you don't just write spellings onto quote figures. So those figures should not be spelled. If you're writing that the research carried out in 1846 by a renowned behavioral expert known as Professor Pakusha, you write it, right? Who carried out a research on children between the ages of 8 and 14. You are quoting this. And at the end of such research, he came up with the findings that over 60% of children who were engrossed in such programs actually got influenced by it positively or negatively. You decide on what you want to quote. Right? And according to the records from their interactions with children both at school and church or wherever they meet again, it's proved that such children were displaying some threats of criminality due to their addiction to some of those books. So please ensure you are quoting. Ensure you are quoting.
So I want to know. You know, I'm writing on Saturday.
Yes. Yes.
I want to understand something very well. Paragraph 1, depending on the question. Once you finish your paraphrasing, the next note is you start like in this essay what you want to do.
Exactly.
Then from there you can choose if you are making suggestion. Are you talking about merit or demerit, advantage or disadvantage? Is that what it is?
That's what it is. But please, you must also confirm that opinion is stated in the question. Look at it here.
Okay. So in a situation where your opinion is needed, that means in your paragraph 1,
there must be opinion.
Your
Clearly given.
Opinion must be
Clearly given. But you know, in this paragraph 1, we didn't state the points, right? We only planned the point, we drafted it on our question paper as rough work. And after planning it, each point you draft out, please attach an example so that you won't have to start thinking when you begin to write. Do you understand? So you plan your 2 points in every IELTS question. If you are asked to discuss both sides, for instance, if a question has 2 concerns where a faction feels this happens, another faction feels this happens and this happens. If the instruction says discuss the 2 sides of the argument, please note that your paragraph 2 will discuss the first opinion of the first people. Paragraph 3 will talk about the second people's view. Do you understand this? And each point you have to draft out which you would like to use to support any of those factions must have its own example. Do you understand this? But I am very emphatic on the fact that let your 2 body paragraphs, P2 and P3, not be strictly on spellings alone. Please. Yes. Bring out things that will make it fact-like. That's what makes a standard essay. So, now back to the question again. If you are meant to opine, if a question seeks your opinion, it has to be clearly established in the question. So in that case, your paragraph 1 must clearly establish your opinion. Please, do you understand? Alright. Now, there is also a way of blowing the mind of the examiner from your paragraph 1. There is what we call preamble in writing. So for preamble, after paraphrasing the question, full stop. For instance, let me do a preamble on this particular question. So after saying, in several nations nowadays, crime novels and television crime dramas are becoming increasingly widely accepted. It is no longer news that across the globe, a lot of criminalities are playing out. And this happens between teenagers to young adults. as such that it has become a serious threat to governments of different nations across the world. And now they are seeking ways to either curtail such crimes or empower people to understand how to prevent falling victim of such criminalities. Therefore, in this essay, I will be writing, do you understand what I've done? That's a preamble. So after copying the paraphrasing the question, you drop a preamble. After that preamble, you now drop your thesis background statement.
That's like an appetizer.
Exactly. So you are telling, after just doing the abracadabra with all you know about what the question is all about, and you say, in this essay, therefore, I will be writing to clearly highlight the reasons, blah, blah, blah. The examiner would know that, oh boy, this person actually knows what he's about to do. Right? So that's another thing to do in your paragraph 1. It's called preamble. If you can, please show off. It gives the examiner the impression that this person clearly understands this. So by the time you quote that, it has become a threat to governments of different countries of the world as such that they are now seeking ways to sign bilateral agreements with other countries in order to avoid other similar activities from happening. So at this point, when you come to paragraph 2, and you want to talk about books, you are exposing the likes of superheroes, right, that are being written as novels for people to read. So exposing the likes of superheroes, how superheroes come around to save the world, how they go about saving people in trouble at different locations at different times. Then you cite example, you can talk about Superman, you can talk about Spider-Man, you can talk about Batman, all of those guys. Then, when you go to paragraph 3, you want to talk about TV dramas, how people rob banks, how people carry out their fraudulent activities, and then you want to quote our almighty Hush Puppy. Right? So you quote him as someone who was being monitored, whose lifestyle was being monitored by FBI. You know, tracing and tracking his activities and flamboyant life or lifestyle until he got apprehended. And today, a popular music icon known as 50 Cent is already coming up with TV series about the life of Hush Puppy. Do you understand? So with that, there is every tendency that anyone who watches that will understand how Hush Puppy actually cooks his activities, threw bait at his victims, and they fell for that, and he made away with their funds. So that will help people to now understand when they receive emails or when they receive messages that are so appetizing, one should not just accept and fall victim. Right? So these are ways to go. Then you should also understand that you need to bring in the year, the number of people involved, the amount of money involved, the time it takes them to actually achieve such plan. Right? Then give an estimated number of victims who have been defrauded over the years from different countries of the world. And then after that, you come to your paragraph 4. What is your paragraph 4 all about? Your conclusion and your stance. Now, for your paragraph 4, you want to understand that there are different ways of concluding an essay. It depends on you. You can simply conclude an essay by saying, summarily, or you say, conclusively, or you say, in light of the above. These are different templates of concluding your essay. So you can simply say summarily, or conclusively, or in light of the above. But let's understand how and when to apply them. Summarily and conclusively, the approach is the same. we apply summarily or conclusively? This is when you feel you've not written up to 200 words. When you feel you've not written up to 200 words between paragraphs 1 to 3. You've counted and you feel it's not 200 words. This is the best shot to take, summarily or conclusively. Now, by the time you say summarily or conclusively, you are supposed to summarize the topics you discussed in paragraphs 2 and 3. So, if I say summarily or if I say conclusively, crime fictions as well as TV crime dramas are becoming more and more popular nowadays, not only because it exposes them to how these things are done, and as such, it helps victims to prevent, being defrauded or lured by fraudsters. It also negatively affects children who are not monitored as they tend to try to live such lives, especially of superheroes, which they do not know that are fictions. Therefore, in my experiential opinion, you see, I've summarized this topic and the second one because I'm saying conclusively or summarily. Before I now say therefore, in my opinion, I'll still bring this to it. So when I summarize the second point, and then bring in my opinion, I must attain up to 50 or 60 words. Please, do you understand this?
These words are like on is the word.
Yes.
Is the word. Positive is the word.
Yes. So how to count your words is this. You check the first 3 or the first 4 lines individually. For instance, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So averagely, I could say 7 or 8 words per line. So I'll then count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. How many lines I have written and multiply by 8. Do you understand this?
If you are writing 10 words per line, you have to write 25 pages.
No, 25 lines, which is 1.5 pages. So, IELTS is a deliberate exam. It's a deliberate exam. You just have to understand what you should do and what you should not do. That's all. I know on their ruled paper, I think it should be up to 20 lines for writing on the ruled paper. If not up to 20, then it's about 15. So let's assume you're writing 7 words per 15 lines. So if you multiply that, you might be having around almost 100 words, right? Then you put, right?
Yeah, 7 times 10 is 70.
Yes.
75 is 35. That's
Yes.
another 5.
Yes. So you go to a second page, that's another 200 or 210. Then 2.5 pages you have covered. So you want to look at, it's something you can actually plan before you start the essay. Check how many lines you have there. Then deliberately try to make sure you have about 6 or 7 words on each line. Do you understand? So these are knowledge you should go into the exam hall with. So when you understand this part, your challenge will not be whether I'll be able to write up to. Your challenge will not be to deliver. Because you are now sure that you are going to write up to the words required. So if you are using summarily or conclusively, that's how to go about it. You have to give the synopsis of the topics you discussed in paragraphs 2 and 3. Synopsis, that's a summary. Then after that, you bring in your opinion. Yeah, remember that the opinion has to be paraphrased. You don't need to copy the opinion that you have written in paragraph 1 verbatim. You need to rephrase it. Then, at that point, your essay is completed. But if you feel between your paragraphs 1 and 3, if you feel you have written up to 250 or 240 or 260 words, you don't want to overflog your essay anymore. So just conclude by going straight to the point. So this is the right shot to take.
In the light of that.
In light of the above, I therefore recommend strongly that go straight to opinion and that's it. If you have written up to 250 words or above, don't use conclusively or summarily. Just say in light of the above. That means having discussed everything in my previous paragraphs, I therefore recommend strongly that you write your opinion and that's it. Okay, so thank you so much. We shall get into the essay mock test right now. It's going to last for just 40 minutes.